Okay guys, today I'm going to show you my version of the Backfire High Armor, High Damage Striker build. For the specialization, I'll be using the Firewall. And the reason I'm using the Firewall is because I'll be using the Striker Shield. And for the Firewall, you get the Striker Passive Talent. The Striker Shield boosts the damage of the user and all allies behind them, based on the number of enemies in front of them. So off the bat, you'll be getting a boost in damage just by using the shield. And of course, you get to burn enemies with the flamethrower. Let's move on to the build. For the primary gun, I'm using, of course, the Backfire. And this one has SMD damage, crit chance, and damage to armor. If you can get damage to target out of cover, that'll be even better. This one has 109.65k damage. And the talent, Payment in Kind, dealing damage to enemies as a stack of 2% critical hit damage, up to 100 stacks, lasting 10 seconds. On reload, apply a 10-second bleed to yourself, which deals 0.5% armor damage per stack. Even though this talent applies bleed, you won't have to worry about that because of this build. For the secondary gun, I'm using a lefty shotgun with shotgun damage, damage to armor, and damage to target out of cover. And this I use to build up stacks. Unlike big enemies when they come out, I build up my stacks with this gun. It comes with perfect sledgehammer. Dealing damage with a grenade applies a mark on the target. Targets with the mark will take 20% more damage to armor from the agent that applies the mark, and have a minus 30% movement speed. Mark will disappear after 10 seconds. So for the build, I'm using 4 striker pieces, 1 yawl gear, and the memento backpack. On a normal basis, we would run an all-red striker, but with the backfire and the bleed, we're choosing to put armor and hazard protection on each piece. For the mask, we also have a 9.7% bleed resistance mod, and that's the only bleed resistance mod we're gonna have. Let's jump now to the holster. Armor, hazard protection. For the gloves, we have weapon damage and hazard protection. For the knee pad, weapon damage and hazard protection. If you feel too squishy with the build, you can also choose to put armor on these 2 pieces with hazard protection. Wow, a lot of new players, man. Let's move over to the chest piece. We have armor, armor regen, and hazard protection, and 1 crit damage mod. And we have the talent, Obliterate. Critical hits increase total weapon damage by 1% for 10 seconds, stack up to 20 times. For the backpack, we have the Memento Exotic. With weapon damage, armor, plus 1 skill tier, and a 12% crit damage mod. And for those who don't know the Memento, it comes with a talent, Kill Confirmed. Enemies you kill drop a trophy on death. Collecting trophies provides both a short and long-term buff, the first of which scales with the number of core attributes equipped and lasts 10 seconds. 5% weapon damage, 10% bonus armor, and 5% skill efficiency. For every trophy collected, gain an additional plus 1% weapon damage, plus 1% skill efficiency, and a plus 0.1% armor regeneration for 300 seconds, maximum 30 stacks. So One of the disadvantages of this build is that you have to run around and get the trophies when they drop, so your armor will go up. Another disadvantage of this build is that you have no explosive resistance. So if a grenade come after you, you gotta get out of the way. Let's go down to the skills. I'm using, of course, the Reviver Hive and the Striker Ballistic Shield. Let's look at the mods on the Striker Ballistic Shield. I'm using the 8% shield health, 5% Osted regeneration, and the 8% active regeneration mod. Let's look at the modifiers being used with the build. For the active modifier, we're using Assault Link. That gives us a plus 5% weapon damage for every non-red core equipped. Let's go down to the passive modifiers. The first one is best kind of defense. While at least tier 3 in both firearms and stamina, gain 2.5% headshot damage for every 100,000 total armor you have. Second one is extra padding. Gain plus 5% protection from elites per blue core while at tier 5 in stamina. Third one is safety first. Hazard protection is increased by 7.5% for each stamina tier. Let's look at the stats. 50% crit chance and 84% crit damage. We have 92.5% hazard protection, 100% bleed resistance. So with this setup, you will get no bleed from the backfire. And that's it for the build, guys. If you like this version of the build, drop me a like and subscribe to the channel. Until next time, I'll catch you guys in the next one.